Hello, everybody. Welcome to the 100 sub special. I'm excited. I had a couple of ideas for this. As you all probably know, the intent and, well, the execution is a Q&A. How I went about doing that was a different story. I had a couple of ideas here and there. I originally thought I was gonna do like a montage of some gameplay with me answering questions over top of it, and I was kind of like, well, maybe not. Kind of wasn't feeling it. The more I thought about it, the more I was like, is there really, is that really what I want to do? And the answer was no. So then I, thought about other ways that I could do it, and I landed upon, well, why don't I make an online quiz, answer the questions, and include media for them, like pictures and stuff, in the editing process. And I was like, well, that's a pretty cool idea, so that's exactly what I'm doing. So here we are at the online quiz. So yeah, I'm excited. This is a combination of questions from you guys as well as questions that I threw in myself. I'm planning on making this maybe 10 minutes long at the most, maybe 15 at the absolute most. Can't imagine it'll be less than 10 minutes though, but I think there's 13 questions. We'll see about that. But anyways, that is the plan. So also I'm sure that you can hear, because I can hear it too, the lovely jazz music in the background. I'm a little bit worried about that one. I was like, well, it can't, okay, I know. It can't just be me talking with a nearly white screen, okay? I'm sure a lot of you would probably watch it, alright? But everybody won't. I was like, well, I need to have some kind of music, so I found a quote-unquote royalty-free playlist. I'm a little bit nervous about playing it. It's gonna stay, we'll see what happens. It'll tell me before it goes up whether or not it's, actually royalty-free, and worst case scenario, if it's not, I'm just gonna go and record it all again, and that'll be fun, but you know what, I'm putting a lot of faith into this playlist, we'll see how it goes. But yeah, we're gonna jump right into it, because there's been enough talking that has not been talking about the questions. So here we are. I think, like I said, there are 13 questions in here, so we are on question 1. Question 1. What are some of your biggest aspirations, not limited to YouTube? Biggest aspirations, well, ideally, number 1. I would like to have a job that can pay me and whoever it is that I live with at the time, be that myself, 500 cats, or family. That is number 1 on the list of things that I would hope to achieve. Aside from that, I'd like to have a garden. I think that could be nice. I'd like to have a house with a yard, and I'd like to be able to put things in that yard. Because who likes houses that are just in the middle of a neighborhood that are completely boxed in? I've lived in those my whole life. I don't want to live in those anymore. I want to live out on a ranch. I think that could be fun. I'd also like to have pets. I'd like to have cats. I don't really like dogs, but I do like cats, and I'd like to have a couple of those. And yeah, in terms of realistic aspirations, that about does it. Non-realistic aspirations, though, if I could have anything, I want it. If I could pick one goal that's not in any way, shape, or form feasible, but I would still like to be able to say I did it, it would probably be to go to space. I think that could be pretty cool. I was reading this headline the other day. There's apparently a multi-billionaire who wants to take 8 passengers with him on a trip around the moon. I'd do that. I'd do that in a heartbeat. But that's not exactly an aspiration that you could live up to. As cool as it would be, it's not exactly something that you can say that that's realistically a goal that you want to have. But yeah, that's about my answers for all those. All right, question number 2. That's not number 2. Hey, question number, no. Question number 2 does not seem to want to cooperate. go down a little bit. That's annoying. Alright, well, question number 2 is right here. And it's just skipping right over it, but we're gonna read it out. I just can't actually complete it with the little drop down. Question number 2 is, do you have any particular hobbies beyond YouTube? Yes, I do. Actually, I have a lot of little hobbies, but if I had to say, like, I have 2 big ones, it's definitely violin, and I like to draw as well. I'm not very artsy, but I'm somewhat artsy, I would say. It's definitely a hobby, but it's not really a hobby that I'm great at. That doesn't mean it's any less of a hobby. My number 1 hobby is probably violin, though. I do it for fun, just on my own. I actually have 2 of them, but one of them is very old and cheap off of Amazon, and the other one's a nicer one that I got once I had the money for it. So, while I have 2, I really only have 1. And I'm sure on the screen right now you probably have pictures of everything that I'm talking about. Hobbies, I also like to, well, I like to watch YouTube. That's not really a hobby. I like to garden. I have a little flower patch and a bunch of pots and plants of all kinds. I've got like this little cactus thing, and I've got a bunch of flowers that I actually just planted the other day. It's a lot of fun. If you know what, if you're looking for a hobby, something that doesn't really take a whole lot of your time, but you feel rewarded from doing it, I definitely suggest looking into gardening. You can plant so many things inside your house. Like, if you live somewhere that's completely blocked in, you could plant a lot of things in your house in flower pots. There are a lot of plants that don't really need a lot of attention. But yeah, so that is currently what I do in my free time, aside from, like, school, but that's not really a hobby either. That's kind of it's kind of a necessity. So, all right, what made you be? All right, there we go. What made you become a YouTuber? That's a funny story. No. That's a funny story. I have always thought that I have the personality to do YouTube. I think that I am definitely a charismatic. I wouldn't really say I'm outgoing, but I would say that, like, I can be. I definitely have the capacity to talk for long periods of time. Not to say that I do. Not to say that I'm like that person who will talk forever. It's actually quite the opposite. In real life, like out in day to day, I usually don't talk, if at all. I usually will listen and let all the other people do the talking, but I know that I have the ability to talk for long periods of time. Obviously, I stream and make videos, and I have to fill the silence of hour and 20 minutes. Now, you can't just be gameplay, you have to have some commentary in there. So I've always kind of thought, like, well, I definitely have the prowess, the prowess to be able to do something like that. But I never acted upon it. It wasn't until, funny enough, my girlfriend also said, hey, you know what you would be great at? YouTube. And I was like, oh, well, that's funny, because I kind of thought the same thing, but I don't really think I want to do that. She kind of talked me into it. She was like, well, I think that you maybe, you play video games anyways, I think that people would enjoy listening to you talk. I think that you definitely are a kind and, like, personable person. And I think that people would gravitate towards you if they found your channel. And I was like, well, maybe you're right. And so I was like, yeah, all right, we'll try it out. But I'm not doing it alone. Which is why the first video on the channel was actually a duo Let's Play between me and my friend Riker. Because at the same time, he was also wanting to do YouTube, but, well, if you pop over to Riker's channel, he's gone MIA. Rest in peace, Riker. Yeah, I'm very happy to say that I gave it a go. I'm loving it so far. I have so much fun doing this, and as compounded on the fact that you guys make it fun for me. In and of itself, making videos to post online is not a very fun job. Believe it or not, it's not fun to just sit and play video games and talk to yourself. I know, it's crazy, right? Who would have thought? But No, it's not. It's really not. But what is fun and what makes me continue doing it and what my favorite part is coming on to my channel every night to upload my next day's videos and seeing comments from you guys. That really seals the deal for me. It is my the best part of the channel. My favorite part of the channel is being able to interact with you guys and having, I would say, somewhat of a community. I really feel like I can say that we have a little bit of a community growing, and it's awesome. I love it. And that is entirely thanks to you guys. So, give yourselves a pat on the back, a round of applause. A round of applause to you all at home. You definitely are what keep me going. And I would like to say a very big thank you, which is pretty much what this whole video is, which, trust me, I'm going to be saying it a lot this video. Thank you. So yeah, that about answers that question, I'd say. This is a hard one. This is one I actually had to think on a little bit before I started today. What is your favorite genre of game? It's a tough one, and here's the reason why. Because I could probably pick like 3 genres at a time and say, yeah, this is probably my favorite. But it changes so often that I honestly don't think that my answer right now would be the same as my answer 2 months from now. So what I did was I pretty much went through my library of games on Steam, and I was like, well, what is the common trait between all of these games? And I think really what my favorite genre going at it like that is RPG action-esque games. I really like games that offer the ability to pick up somebody, you know, be it a character that you make or a character with a backstory that you've been thrown into, and just play and do your own thing. Those are my favorite kinds of games, i.e. Skyrim. If you've heard of it, Murdered Soul Suspect is an amazing game that I do plan on playing for the channel at some point. Fallout's great. Bethesda games in general are amazing. Dragon's Dogma, you know, games like that. And I think that the RPG action category as a whole is pretty encompassing of what my favorite genre is. Now, if I had to pick a specific, like a very specific niche one right now, it's definitely roguelike. Roguelite, you know, Binding of Isaac, Dead Cells, what's that other one called? I played it the other day. Risk of Rain 2. All of those, I love the combos, the, you know, increasing your character's abilities as you pick items up. You know, dungeon crawl type games, like that is my current favorite type of game. And it's gonna be funny if I come back to this video in 3 years and I'm like, what the hell was I talking about? Those games are awful. Obviously, the best kind of game right now is anime dress-up games. I don't know what I was talking about. I don't know what this person's on. They need to go get some help. So yeah. Do you ever plan to stop doing YouTube? This is also a very good question. I would say no. If I answered right now, the answer is no. I don't plan to stop. I have thought to myself, however, what it would take me to stop doing YouTube. I know, that sounds crazy, right? Like, who would sit and be like, alright, what's it gonna take for me to stop doing YouTube? But I mean, you kind of have to have an idea of how much you're willing to put in. I think that I don't plan to stop, but there are criteria that would make me. Such as, if I'm uploading every day and, you know, my views suddenly plummet. You know, if I'm uploading 2 videos a day and I'm getting like 8 views a day. Well, obviously, there's not really a point in me continuing to upload at that point. 8 people are still watching, sure, but like, the amount that I put into the stuff, like, if what I'm putting up isn't enjoyable anymore, let's put it like that. Because saying like, oh, my views drop, that makes that makes it sound like I'm being greedy. No. If what I'm putting up is no longer enjoyable, I don't want to keep doing it. Because I don't just want to put up trash. I don't want to put up garbage that nobody wants to watch. Because then it's not fun anymore, you know? I already said, the best part about this is seeing everybody and being able to interact with everybody. Now that people enjoy watching my stuff. If I'm no longer, like, putting up stuff that people are enjoying, I'm not going to do it anymore. Plain and simple. I'm not going to be one of those, you know, YouTubers who probably should have stopped their channel 2.5 years ago, but here they are still kicking. That will not be me. I think that, really, I don't see myself stopping. I think that another thing that could possibly dissuade me from this, as everyone knows, on YouTube you have to hit a certain threshold to become monetized. What is this threshold? For anybody who's not aware, you have to hit 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch time hours. Sounds like a lot, but really it's not really all that much. I am about a third of the way there. I have 3,000 watch time hours right now, and I have 140 subs at the time of upload. That, I would say, is a pretty damn good number after 4 months of doing YouTube. And that is entirely thanks to you all. You all definitely made all that possible. And I would like to thank you all so much for just being so supportive. I mean, you really don't have to watch these videos, and the fact that most of you do, and do it daily and consistently, is amazing. And I would just like to say thank you to every one of you, because you definitely are helping me reach that magic number. And once that number is hit, I can start monetizing. I can start putting ads in my videos and making money off of what I'm doing right now for fun. There's a caveat to that. You have 12 months to do it, and then it doesn't start over, but it starts to, it's a traveling 12 months. So 12 months from the conception and upload of your channel to the current 12 months, and then it shifts one day, you lose a day from the start, right? Well, at that point, you start losing all the dead weight at the end, and at that point in time, 12 months later, you're probably getting, 4 times as many watch time hours. The only thing that I could see dissuading me from doing this would be if 12 months passes and I am not hitting anywhere near what I was now or before. Like, my numbers went from, like, and plateaued. That would be an issue to me. I would not want to continue doing it, because it's hard to recover, and I would pretty much have to start over, because all my other stuff would just start to disappear, right? I don't think that's gonna happen. I don't think that's happened to anybody in the history of YouTube ever, but it's a possibility. I mean, you have to kind of think about these kinds of things. And so I did. And those are the two very specific scenarios that would cause me to stop. Other than that, you have no worries. I don't plan to stop. I love doing it. And I'm gonna keep doing it because it makes me happy. So let's mark this one as complete and move on. How long does one day's worth of videos take? Well, it depends. It depends on what I'm recording, when I'm recording, how long I'm recording for. So some of you guys know I get a little bit carried away sometimes. A 45-minute episode of Library of Arena can easily turn into an hour and 50 minutes of Library of Arena, and I will glance over and be like, oh my god, we need to end this episode. On the flip side, I am also very good at knowing when to stop. Take, for example, the last couple of episodes that went up when I wasn't feeling good. I set myself a very specific time to end, and I was able to end it within that time. Let's say we go with the base, 40 minutes for both episodes, because that's, Darkest Dungeon is almost always about 40 minutes, and I'd say Darkwood's also almost always 40 minutes, unless I do something that carries the time on. That doesn't happen that often. Library of Arena is the only caveat there, because that can go for, I mean, it's 40 to an hour and 20, I'd say, average. Now, if I take that along with edit time, believe it or not, editing takes like 20 minutes at the most. It's really easy, but that's because I have a preset saved on my editing software. It's so nice. All I have to do is put the videos, like the actual footage in, and I choose the setting that I have, this preset, and it automatically cuts and edits my videos the way that I like it to. And then I just go back and, fine-tune things. It's pretty cool. It doesn't take too long at all, so that's about 20 minutes. And then rendering, but that's not really time invested. I can just set that to go and then go do my own thing, so I'm not going to count render time. And then upload, processing, description, title, tags, and all of that takes about 20 minutes too. Realistically, it only takes me about 2.5 hours total. That could easily jump to 3 to 4 hours, depending on how long I go for. So it's not really all that bad. I wouldn't say it's not like an amount that makes me want to not do it. Because again, it's not like I'm using that time for anything else. I have a lot of free time outside of classes, and I would say it's a pretty good investment to do this because I enjoy it. What better way to spend your time than by doing something that you like? So yeah, I'd say about, in a long-winded explanation, about 2 to 2.5 hours average of time spent. So not bad at all. Alright, what's your favorite kind of music? Or your favorite band? I'm going to take that as and your favorite band, and I'm going to answer both of them. Favorite kind of music? It's hard. I think, in general, rock and roll. I like classic rock. I like alternative rock. I like heavy metal. I like screamo rock. Like, it's all good. I could listen to all of it. And I do listen to all of it. I listen to it a lot. It's like 95% of my Spotify playlist. So that's pretty much the answer to that one. That's my favorite kind of music in general, is rock. The close second being classical / opera. Believe it or not, I love me some classical music, and I love opera as well. I know, it's crazy, right? Who the hell likes opera? I do. I'm the 1% of people that keep opera alive. It's me. You have found him. Look, I'm sorry, it's just good. It's just good. Were it not for fear of demonetizing the video, I would play you a snippet of an opera I like. I might do it anyways, and just accept that this video is not going to get monetized. We'll see what happens with this. We'll see what happens with the background music as it is. We'll see. Favorite band? That's an easy one. It's Pink Floyd. Pink Floyd is one of the greatest bands of all time. There's no changing my mind on that. I've listened to all of their albums. I have, like, almost all of their albums. CD, digital. I have a couple of their vinyls. Look, I have posters on my wall of Pink Floyd, alright? It's one of the greatest bands to ever exist. There you go. There's the answer to that one. What upcoming series on the channel are you most looking forward to? I also have an answer to this one, but I don't... Alright, I'm gonna let you guys in on a secret. Everybody who's watching this gets to find out a secret today, alright? And that is going to be what series takes over after Library of Arena. Now, I talked about this the other day in my live stream, but I didn't actually say what I was going to play. And I know what you might be thinking. Well, Library of Arena's not even done yet. Why are you thinking like this? You kind of have to think ahead. You can't just live in the moment, especially not with, like, this kind of a thing. You always want to have a plan, because I don't personally know when Library of Arena is going to end. I know that I've probably got about another 20 episodes, give or take, but that number could be less and that number could be more. I think it's a good idea to always plan ahead, and so I did. And I have a series in mind for what to play after Library of Arena. And that is the one I'm most excited for. Now here's the secret that you all get to find out. What is this mystery series? Okay. If you guys promise not to go blabbing, I'll let you in, alright? It's Kingdom Hearts. They are dropping it on Epic Games, unfortunately. I hate Epic Games. I hate the company. But you know what? You gotta do what you gotta do, so we have to buy it on Epic Games. That is the series that's going to be taken over after Library of Arena, and that is going to become the daily series. I played the shit out of those games growing up. Those games, I had all of them on my PlayStation 2, and I played them so much. So much. I love them. I love them dearly. It's been forever since I played, so I don't actually have the games anymore on my PlayStation. I still have my PlayStation 2, but I don't have the Kingdom Hearts games. But, they are releasing them on PC. They're releasing them. And I am playing them for the channel, all of them. That is going to be the next big Let's Play series daily that takes over. So be prepared. There's going to be a lot of Disney involved. And I'm absolutely 100% excited for it because I love those games. That is the next series that I am most looking forward to. That's not to say I'm not looking forward to the rest of the stuff, but if I had to pick a number one, oh yeah, it's definitely that. I've been waiting to play these games for so long. I can't even explain to you. Also, we're at 25 minutes now, so Rest in peace, that nice 10 to 15 minute video. The good news is I can see the end. The end is approaching. There's not that question down at the very bottom, but it's not far from it. Favorite book and author. Okay, favorite book and author is a hard one. That's just because I don't really know a lot of authors. I read a lot of books. I'll be honest with you, I don't care enough about the author to remember their names. Alright. Now, before you put me on a stake, it's because, quite simply, I don't really care that much, alright? I care about the story, I don't really care about the author. It's inconsequential at the end of the day. I'm not in grade school anymore, I don't need to know these things to take a test on them. I just read books for fun, and if you happen to have written it, congratulations, I read your book. I'm not going to remember your name, though, I'm sorry. Now, if I had to pick a favorite book of all time, that's also a tough one. Because I've read a lot of really good books. I could say something classic like, you know, oh, well, my favorite book is The Divine Comedy by, you know, Dante Alighieri. No, it's not. If I had to pick a favorite book, it's probably Percy Jackson. Percy Jackson's series in general. Oh my god, those books are so good. That's one of the few authors I actually remember the name to. Rick Riordan. That's a really good one, I'd say. I know. No, it's... those are the preteen books, but bear with me here, okay? They're good. Don't knock them if you haven't read them. Go read them, okay? If I had to pick another book, Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy is an amazing book as well. I read that book a couple of times, and I'd say that's a pretty high-tiered one. If you couldn't tell what kind of books I'm into, it's those kinds of books. Yeah, I'd say those are probably pretty high up. Lord of the Rings were also really good. I have read that series, I think twice. It might have been 3 times, but I'm pretty sure I've only read the whole of it twice. Those are also really good. But that's about it for book and author. All right, do you have any YouTubers that inspired you or that you try and be like? Well, kind of, but not really. I have very specific tastes when it comes to YouTubers. I'm very picky about who I will and will not spend hours watching. That's just because I think a lot of people on YouTube are so annoying. Like, obnoxious. I cannot tell you how many times I've clicked on a Let's Play and I've been like, boy, I'm excited for this one. I'm ready to watch it. And the person started talking, and 5 minutes in, I was like, I don't want to listen to another word that this person has to say. I really don't. I'm sure there are people who come to my channel and do the same thing, but that's just how it is. That's just how YouTube is. It's definitely a game of, can we grab enough people's attention and click with enough people that they want to stick around. I would not say that I take inspiration from the YouTubers I watch, but I definitely think that they are the kinds of people that I try and be like, because that's what I like to watch. I like to make videos that are not clickbaity. I don't want to make something that's just, you know, dead and dry. I'm not gonna lie to you, there have been several recordings that I have thrown out and redone because I was like, I watched back through it and I was like, I don't like this. I really just don't like this. I wouldn't watch this, and I don't think people who are watching are gonna want to watch this. Like, that's pretty much what happened to Risk of Rain. I started that as like a mini-series. It was just like a here and there kind of a thing, and I just stopped it all together, and it was because I'd upload, like, I would have a video recorded, I would be like, God, this video is horrible. I sound so annoying, like there's nothing to talk about, so I just don't talk. Or I'll talk about nonsense. I don't want it. No, throw it out. And then I do. And then that's a video lost. I think that makes it a little bit hard, but that's just kind of how it is. So yeah, there's not really any YouTubers specifically who inspired me, but if I had to name a few YouTubers who I personally watch, Ambiguous Amphibian is one. I love his stuff. Hilarious guy. Cat on Mars is another one. I like his stuff. DDR Jake is great. And yeah, I mean, those are the people I watch, so in a way, those are the people who inspired me as well, but not really, because like I said, I mean, I like to do my thing, I like to do my own stuff. I don't try and mimic other people, but those are the kinds of people that I think do it well. What is an interesting fact about yourself? Well... What is an interesting fact about myself? What's an interesting... I don't know why this one put me on the spot like that. Okay, hang on. Okay, an interesting fact about myself is okay, I got one. I used to do a lot of clubs growing up throughout elementary, middle, and high school. And funny enough, I tried to start my own club in high school. It was going to be I actually don't remember what it was going to be. It was a club that I had in mind that I talked to a couple of friends about that we were going to make. And I think it was a Magic the Gathering club. Cringe, right? I know. I love that game. Please don't hate me for it. It's such a good game. The card game, mind you, not online. Online is fun, but it's just, look, it doesn't beat playing it in person, okay? I was gonna start, I'm pretty sure, Magic the Gathering Club, and I had a bunch of people who were with me on it, and they were like, yeah, let's start the Magic the Gathering Club. I am not lying to you when I say you have to have a teacher sponsor your club, right? They have to let you use their room, basically, for the club meetings. And I had a teacher that I was, like, super cool with, and my favorite teacher ever in high school. And I asked, and I was like, hey, is it alright if I start this club? And the teacher was like, yeah, absolutely. You can use my room. That's fine. Well, one of the people who I had agreed to start the club with had gone ahead and asked another teacher to start the club instead, because that person wanted to be the president of the club. So they basically took my idea and went ahead and did it anyways so that they could be the president of the club. And then I wasn't able to start mine because the club already technically existed. And I was so annoyed by that I just didn't join the club at all. And my club was taken from me. It was taken from me. Oh my god, I was so annoyed by it. It's not really an interesting fact, it's just a funny story, but that's the best you're gonna get from me. Least favorite part of YouTube. My least favorite part about YouTube is the fact that you can't miss a day, otherwise it fucks you up. Case in point, I have only had huge drops in views and watch time proceeding after 2 events, and they have both been me missing a day of upload. I don't know why, but that's just what I have found. You can't miss a day, otherwise YouTube won't recommend your content, it seems. I don't know why, but that, like I said, it just seems to be the case. It's just annoying. It's just annoying. It's my least favorite part because it makes me feel like I have to upload every day. Otherwise, if I don't, like, I just hurt myself in the long run. But you shouldn't ever feel like that if it's just something that you're doing for fun. But I also like to think about future, like, well, maybe I could get monetized one day. Maybe I could start making money off of something that I enjoy doing. And so it makes me stressed, and I'm like, well, I have to upload. I have to upload this. I have to upload this, which is why I was so annoyed yesterday. The day before yesterday. I'm recording this on Sunday night, so Saturday I didn't upload. Because I had lost my voice. Completely. My voice was gone. I tried so hard. I drank so much tea, and I had so much soup to just try and get my voice back enough to be able to record and to upload, and it did not work. It did not work. And I was like, well, I'm gonna have to cut my losses. I'm not gonna upload today. I'm not gonna be able to. So I put up a tweet and I was like, hey, here's the gist, here's the deal. I can't upload, I can't record, I can't talk. My voice was so gravelly and cracked, it was just hard. I mean, it was hard. I could not get it done. And it sucked a lot, because that made it hard for me to want to check YouTube today, because I knew that I was just going to come back and I was going to have a day that I didn't have any uploads, and my, all my stuff was going to be awful. And I know that the days preceding are also going to be less than ideal, because that's how it always is. And it's not anything against you guys. It's not anything against you guys at all. In fact, I'm especially happy that you guys, even on days that I don't upload, will still come back when I do. You have no idea how much that means to me. It's incredible. The problem is that my reach gets nixed. If I had, you know, my videos being recommended to 200, 300 people a day, well, it seems like when I miss a day, that suddenly goes down to like 30 to 40 people a day until I get it back up to where it was. That's just how it is. It's how it be. Okay. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm trying. This survey got mad I was taking too long. Okay. Well, we have 15 minutes, so that's my least favorite part. What's the favorite part? It's you guys. It's you guys. It's always been you guys, and I think it always will be. As I said, my favorite part is being able to get on YouTube at night, seeing comments, being able to talk to people about what happened in the video, hearing people's, people will be like, hey, this was fun, this was funny, or they'll be like, hey, here's some tips, what you should maybe try and do this, or, hey, I hope you feel better. All that stuff is great. It's so unbelievably nice of you all to, one, even care that I didn't feel good, and two, to wish me well. It's just nice, and thank you. And thank you all for commenting in general, liking the video, sharing the video, whatever you all do. I besides from just watching, even just watching, all of it is amazing, and I thank you all so much for it, because it really does help. You have no idea. It truly is what is allowing me to do so well, and do as well as I have. It's great. It gives me so much traction. It's unreal. So I'd just like to say thank you all so much for all your hard work, and keeping the channel alive. That plain and simple, that's how it is. So favorite part about YouTube, it is you all. It's you guys. Well, that's about it for this video. I would like to thank you all for watching, and once again, thank you all so much for 100 subs. It is unreal. And right now it's 140 subs, which is even more unreal. Oof, that's a huge number. So, thanks. Thank you all. It's amazing, and I cannot thank you enough. And I hope to see you all again here in a couple of months with a 500 subscriber special of some kind. I have some ideas, but I'm not positive on any of them yet. It's a little bit of a ways off, so nothing that needs to be stressed over yet. But we're going to conclude this special. So, thank you all for watching. I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, leave a thumbs up. If you didn't, leave a thumbs down. If you'd like to see more, consider subscribing. Hey, subscribe enough, and we'll hit another super special video. As always, I hope you all have a fantastic rest of your day, and I will see you all next time. So long, everybody.